Hello, greetings. I don't have the strength, but I have to. Back to Surah Azab, verse 37. And before that, reading multilingual Quran, Akapuya's explanation and all. Implied. It's implied. So we will take the implications, implied, and do the whole thing again. I've been in such a shock. So first when listening to Dr. David Wood, it was different. And the ex-Muslims. Now it's a different kind of a shock coming up. Maybe a little bit of acceptance or maybe can't believe it. So it's all a shock still, I think. And angry sometimes when I see that if God implied this verse to mean that you should not fear the people because, I don't like, okay, I'll read Akapuyas. I've been doing a live stream on Facebook and I went crazy there. Here it is. Thank God the tab is open. I just want to find my glasses. Don't mean to hurt the Sayyid Shias or anyone, as I've hurt myself. So here Akapuya says that Aka Mehdipuya says an adopted son is not the real son, and all other Quranic injunctions are valid in all ages. You did fear the people implies that the right course should be followed. This does not, he feared the people, but that the right course which Allah has told him, Prophet Muhammad feared the people, right? But it implies that the right course should be followed whether the people like it or not. So he's explaining, as said in verse 54 of Maida, Surah Maida, they fear not the censor of the censorers. So, O Prophet, you should not, like God should have put it in this way. But since our Shia ulemas, with due respect, late put their life and all this and have made it difficult for us, so we can also imply why Muhammad, if Allah implies, it means an indirect, it has a meaning, deeper meaning to it, or a double meaning, that when Allah said to Rasulullah here, Allah had made a greater, you feared men in Surah Azab, verse 37. So my health has not been keeping well. I just had a very bad mental attack, fits and all. I kind of, like, what do you call that? Coming out, shocking mental bout, madness bout on Facebook. Yet I've picked up this phone to do an audio. That's how my one's videos are on YouTube. All the videos are on YouTube, most of them. So I might put this down anytime. I will not pause it. I will in piecemeal explain it. Now you see the Sayyids, like I was asking, how could we Shias miss all this? The way I'm seeing it now and saying, our Prophet was so clever and cunning and how terrible he was. You see, now we can also imply. If God is using implications and indirect ways, is implication the same as implied? To imply. But here again, they've overlooked his unintentional mistake. And we were told that Prophet Muhammad never made a mistake. They can't, because he's the imparter of knowledge and, the divine knowledge, and he's the living example. So, and God cannot keep on correcting him. Like, this is not the way, and it shouldn't be like that in the Quran, but Later on I found out. So the Shias, ulamas, with due respect to them, will have a good reason for this too. Where is it? Trying to search for that other one where it says, there is no harm in the Prophet doing that which Allah has ordained for him. Such has been the course of Allah with respect to those who have gone before, and the command of Allah is a decree that is made absolute. Muhammad is not the father, Allah's God of all things. Any of your men. Okay, so don't take Muhammad as a father. You believe, remember Allah, remembering frequently, and glorify him morning and evening. Eat his ascendant blessings on his angels and salutations. O Prophet, surely we have sent you as a witness. Where was it? Oh, it is above, I think. I'll just pause this. Hello, yeah, greetings. Oh, sorry. Continuing. I paused. So it's verse 5, I forget, of Surah Ahzab, 33 chapter of the Quran. So some say here, but there is no blame on you if you make a mistake therein. The intention of your hearts. What counts is the intention of your hearts. So unintentionally, someone made a mistake, which of course implies that Prophet Muhammad made a mistake here, adopting Zaid as according to the pagan practice then, at that time. Right? So that's the thing. And here Pictel has put it like, and there is no sin for you in the mistakes that you make unintentionally, like the Prophet. And we just we just go through this. Just put some thought, dhyan de. Please put some thought to this. How can such a Prophet who has known, like the Shia say, from birth he's blessed. He knows his prophethood. He knows. He's Noor Ilahi. He knows. He's full of the light of Allah, the knowledge. He's fully conscious of Allah from birth, as he grows up, he knows all this. No, as he grows up, no, he's fully conscious. But that the command came to him to proclaim this to others at the age of 40, when he was 40 years old, I think. So this is what we Shias were told. Okay, now he knows everything. And it's not like it's coming in piecemeal to him, whatever, but that he has practiced a pagan Arab practice, custom of adopting sons. Then Allah wants to change it and say, no, this you made an unintentional mistake. How could a prophet make an unintentional mistake? So now I've skipped that verse, Surah Ahzab, because, Aka Puya says, adopted fear of the people. It is implied that indirectly what God means is that you know that it's telling the people that this prophet will not censor anything, and when the command of Allah comes, he will not shrink from this commandments, whether you like it or not. But then we catch this verse. We don't catch him. We just say that since he was from birth enlightened, he knew he was a prophet. The Shia sources, taking the Shia sources into consideration. So then why did he made a mistake of making a mistake of adopting a son, Zed? This is what it implies. And it's inferring, right? We take the inference from here Because you see, all this source material from Shia sources. Prophet Muhammad, I've read all this. Hopefully, he made the people witness at that time that Zaid is my son. I'm his father. He made the people a witness. Then, you see, and we are told in Surah Najm that Prophet Muhammad does not err, nor does he speak out of his own desire. It's the great Lord Supreme who taught him, mighty and all this. So, if he never errs, he cannot err, because we're told in Surah Najm, from birth. How can he, the question is, how can he make an unintentional mistake? His heart is always full of Allah. Like we say that two hearts, there's a verse here, like a man does not have two hearts. We say that either shaitan or Allah is in your heart. So take away shaitan, do good deeds so that Allah comes in your heart. Allah's grace comes to your heart so that shaitan doesn't dirty your heart and that your hearts go astray. How ignorant! And there's not a dot of ignorance, we were told, in Prophet Muhammad. Taking Surah Najm ayats, taking the narrations, but most importantly, first taking the ayats from the Quran. So he has to impart knowledge. So there's an angel behind him, an angel before him. Surah Jinn ayat, last ayats. Ending ayats you can read in Surah Jinn. And then Surah Najm, he just does not speak. Meaning he doesn't even do a deed without the will of Allah. That's why he's come to tell us that you do the will of Allah, and this. He's come to teach us how to do the will of Allah, and he himself is an example of the will of Allah. He cannot go against the injunctions, the will of Allah, right? So how did he make an unintentional mistake here when nothing, never in his life, from birth, can he do anything against the will of Allah? How did he practice, first of all? Practice a pagan Arab custom, which then Allah made him make people a witness that Zaid is now I have become his father, and he is my son now. I take him as my son. All this after reading the Shia sources, my Shia sources. And then how come here God excuses? How could he make a mistake? Do you see what I mean? Either the Shias have overlooked this and let it. How could the Shias do this? Ulamas, great ulamas who have given their lives for this religion. They didn't even practice taqiyya in front of their enemy at times, If it came only to their life and they knew that there was another ulama or a sayyid who will they've passed the knowledge by to, then let them kill us. Right? I'm shaheed. I've given. Even a Sunni caliph or any Umayyad caliph can come and kill us. They gave their lives like this. So, please think about this. I just went crazy about going to that. So I must be in some other stage of shock, right? The first one, second one, and this is some third, fourth stage. Perpetual nervous breakdown. Oh, So my side is now hurting. I think it's near to the liver more. The love of Ahlul Bayt can never coexist with allegiance to their enemies. It's like either Allah will stay in your heart or Shaitan will be in your heart. Right? Clear. If the heart of a person is wrapped up in the fascination of anything other than the presence of Allah at the time of prayer, he is to be considered as worshipping that thing, not Allah. Ghair Allah. Not Allah. Anything other than Allah he must be worshipping. Like if I start thinking of Mrs. Munira Gulzar during my prayers, some other thought comes. That means I'm worshipping that. Imam Jafar Sadiq alayhi salam, and before that the quote, the love, I didn't read the whole thing. Two hearts in one breast. You can read Imam Ali ibn Abu Talib's saying, Ali commentary and Puya Aka Puya. So please, either I'll go crazy explaining, sharing, and lose my mind completely, or I will lose this religion. Or if this religion is true, I will definitely bow down and repent sincerely and become a sincere Shia Muslim again. Let's see what happens. I apologize to all those Christians, whatever I said against them. I'm sorry, I'm in a shock. That's why these things are happening. Going back to Surah Tawbah again and again and all this. Okay, so I know I haven't said it properly. I haven't said it enough. Consider this losing my religion. Okay, that's a song. Okay, I'll end now. Thank you so much. I'll continue later. This is now square one in another stage of my shock.